Hello everybody. In this video, I'm going to talk about the bodice block development. Firstly, I'll give you the measurements that we need for the development of a bodice block. So what is a bodice block? Bodice is a term that's used for development of a block for the upper part or the torso of a female figure. So for the development of a bodice block, we need certain measurements. And before we take down those measurements, what is important is to understand what should be the size of the paper for the development of a block. So here I am writing down the size of the paper that I need for the development of a block. So a paper need to be cut and it will have a length and it will have the width. That needs to be clearly understood before the development of a block. So, what should be the length that we take for the block development? It should be the front length plus 3 inches. This is the formula that we follow for the selection of or marking for the paper, length of the paper. And when it comes to marking the width, it is half of bust measurement, and to this measurement we add 4 inches. So why we take the front length? The reason why we take front length is because this is the longest length of the front part of a female figure of size 34. So here I am also mentioning size for which I am working so that one doesn't get confused about the size for reference. Okay, so the measurement, front length measurement for size 34 is 17.5 inches. You can refer through the measurement chart and then need to add 3 inches to that. Okay, so when I add 3 inches to that, it comes out to be 20.5 inches as the length of my paper. And what I can do is I can round it off to 21 inches for my ease of marking and cutting the paper. The next step is calculating the width of the paper. So the formula says it's half of bust and we add 4 inches to that. Now half of bust would include the front width and the back width. So I am writing down here for your reference for the ease of understanding. Half of bust would include front width and back width. Front width for size 34 is 10 inches and the back width for size 34 is 9 inches. So this comes out to be 19 inches. Okay, half of bust, because these measurements are half. 10 inches is half of the front complete width and 9 inches is half of complete back width. So I did not further reduce it into half. I have taken it as it is. So when I take half of this measurement, that's 19 inches, and I add 4 inches to that, it comes out to be 23 inches. So this is the size of my paper. The length of the paper will be equal to 21 inches and the width of the paper, the width of the paper will be equal to 23 inches. Okay, so you need to take a brown paper and this be the size of that brown paper. After you cut the brown paper, the next step is also to follow the measurements for the front block and the back block. So what you can do is you can divide your sheet into 2 halves. On one side you can write front block so that I do not mix up all the measurements, and on the other side you can write the back block or the back measurements. After doing this, underneath front we will write down the measurements that are meant for the front block, or we need for the development of the front block. So the very first measurement that we need is the front length. I did refer through this measurement for the paper size as well. So front length is equal to 17.5 inches. I'm again writing down the size here. Now this is size 34 that I'm working with. Okay, so front length is 17.5 inches. Second is center front length. Center front length. Now this measurement is 14.5 inches. After this, width of bust, or another name for this is front width. See, I used this measurement. If you remember, I used this measurement here for the calculation of the width of my paper. So this is equal to 10 inches. So I hope now you will be able to relate it, right? Then after this, the next measurement that we need is apex measurement. Apex measurement is 3 by 4 inches. After this, the next measurement is underarm seam. Underarm seam measurement for size 34 is 8 inches. After this, the next measurement is front waistline. Front waistline measurement is 3 by 4 inches. It's 3. Okay. Then the next measurement after this is waistline to shoulder. Or you can call it as shoulder to waistline, anywhere around. And this measurement is 7 by 8 inches. Okay. Then the next measurement is shoulder length. Shoulder length is equal to 5 inches. And the last measurement here for the front block development is center front waistline to princess line. And this measurement is 3 by 4 inches. Okay, so I'll repeat the measurements once again. Don't go on my handwriting. I'm finding it very difficult right now to write down because I'm looking in the screen and then writing. Okay, anyways, what is important is to understand the measurements that are here. So for the front length, for the front block, it is the front length. This is the longest length for the front block. This is the measurement that we used for the development of paper, right? For marking the size of the paper, to be more precise. Then is center front length, that is 14.5 inches. After this, we have the width of the bust or front width, widest part of the front block, and this is 10 inches. Then we have apex measurements. Measurement for front, that is 3 by 4 inches. Underarm seam measurement is 8 inches. Front waistline is 3 by 4. I'll write it again because this 3 is just merging in. So to make it more clear, yeah, this is 3 by 4 inches. Waistline to shoulder measurement is 7 by 8. As I said, it can be waistline to shoulder or shoulder to waistline. The next measurement is shoulder length, that is 5 inches. Center front waistline to princess line, and this is 3 by 4 inches. Now quickly, let us take the measurements for the back block. So in comparison to the front block, there are just a few measurements for the back block. So the very first measurement here is the center back length, which actually needs to be done as back length. Okay, so center back length is equal to 16 3/4 inches. Then after this, the next measurement is width of back. Width of back is the widest part of the back block, and this is equal to 9 inches. After this, the next measurement that we need is back waistline. I'm writing it in front of my front measurements so that one can relate it. This is 6 inches. So what I've done is front waistline, and next to that on the opposite side I've written back waistline, which is 6 inches. Then after this I have the shoulder blade measurement. So shoulder blade, and this is 7 inches. The next measurement after this is center back to princess line. Center back to princess line. And this measurement is 5/8 inches. So these are the measurements that we need for the back block and the front block. So in this video I told you how to calculate the size of the paper for bodice block development, and I've also given you measurements for size 34 front and back block. In my next video I will be covering about the steps of development of the front block, then the back block, and then would be truing of the darts and cutting the blocks. Thank you.